Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and today, my friends, we're back with an Ogre Kingdom vs. Lizardmen showdown. It's going to be myself with the Slaughtermaster facing off against Professor Pone with the dreaded Tic-Tac-Toe. Look at that, taking Tic-Tac-Toe in the main army like a true Chad, not hiding him in reinforcements and using a cheap skink to unsummon. That is the true power play here. That will do work for him, I am sure. Now, as far as the build goes, front line is going to be basic Gnoblars, no surprises, you need them to not die to spears. Secondary line is going to be Gnoblar Trappers. These guys are great. I think one of the best units on the entire roster, actually. Their damage isn't terrible considering their high model count. You know, it's like 15 missile strength with 160 models thrown them. I mean, it adds up, man. And they do also have the Gnoblar Traps, which are pretty cool. It's like a little bit of a mini Mortis Engine effect to slow things down. Not bad at all. So this is a unit I'm experimenting with. I haven't had the most success, but I figured against Dinos they might be okay. These are the Iron Guts. They look super cool, and these guys have big armor piercing. So if there's like a Basilodon, some sort of a big Dino, I'm kind of hoping that they can stand and fight. What abilities do they have? The Ogre Charge and then, Wall Breaker, just the basic stuff. So Slaughtermaster the backfield, and we do have the Powder Guts to shoot at Pterodons and Ripperdactyls and all that sort of good stuff. So that's pretty much it for the army. I really hope someday they make like the legendary Ogre Lords good, because there's meme units in this game that like have applications and can actually do things, and then there's meme units like Greases, which are just like absolutely terrible, right? And then you have, of course, Scrag. Scrag is just like a worse version of a Slaughtermaster, and he obviously costs like, can cost more depending on what you bring. So yeah, it's just a shame, man. The Ogres have so much potential. Hopefully they'll get their updates eventually, or get some buffs to those characters. Pone's going to be going just straight anti-large. Just, you're like, oh, a roster full of big things, let's just bring halberds. So he's got triple Temple Guard, backed up by the dreaded Skink Oracle. Skink Oracle is a really cool one. He does have Wind Blast to clear out Gnoblars, and then Earthblood to kind of just heal up the halberds. And up in the sky, it's going to be the Claustodon Hunters, and your boy Tic-Tac-Toe coming in with his big rock drop looking to cause problems. A couple Spheres going to be hustling over to the side point, while we do see our first summon of a Salamander Hunting Pack coming out. So we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding while the two armies posture. I'll be moving up to objective number 1 here. Objective 3 is going to be secured by my Ogre Bulls on the side. So neither of us are probably going to be going for the side objectives. It's more or less going to be a rumble in the middle, as both armies do posture up on this middle objective here. Here comes the Halberds, going to be using the old shooting coming in from the Powder Guts. Powder Guts are a very good unit, able to pick off a couple Temple Guard already. I honestly think Man-Eaters with pistols, like bringing like 2 or 3 of them in this matchup might not even be bad. But Salamander Hunting Pack Ambush, they are here, and there's going to be some nice anti-large shooting going into the Ogres. Granted, I can heal them pretty well, and you can see that they are going to be returning fire, so I kind of like opted to just get in there and take the trade right now. Now, this is 100% inspired by Flying Taco. I see him do well with these guys every game, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to see if I can channel my inner Flying Taco. So I bring the Sky Striders, anti-large, armor piercing. Should be good against like some of these big flying scaries, right? We'll have to see how that goes. Gnoblars are holding back the Temple Guard here, and you do see that the Salamander Hunting Pack is getting owned pretty badly by the Powder Guts with healing, which is really, really cool to see. And we do see some Cold on Spear Riders maybe looking to charge into the front line. I think they were trying to get on top of the Iron Guts, but then we pulled back the Iron Guts, so... Little Gnoblars though, man. They're doing their work. Look at how well they hold. And here comes a Power Fist of the Great Maw. That is a lot of stacked up lizards, and the big Power Fist comes down, and boom! Drops right on their heads, as we do get the Iron Guts moving in to help them, and overall, a pretty good engagement here. Now on the other side, doesn't look like too much pressure. It's mainly just Temple Guard battling against Gnoblars, just trying to hold them back for as long as possible. As far as summons, we are going to be summoning in a little bit of shooting, so we do get some Lead Belchers on the way out. Side objective is pretty much just chilling, and we are going to be trading here in the middle for the foreseeable future, as the Powder Guts continue to just put DACA into the Salamanders, and more Gnoblars are being sacrificed to the old ones as they move up into the water, where the Lizards certainly have the advantage. Although Temple Guard are not aquatic, obviously the Skink units. And look at this, oh, the Salamanders, the dreaded aquatics trait coming into play here, could be pertinent. We'll have to keep tabs. So obviously, these Ogres are just better than the other ones because they are trained by the Sons of Sigmar as they continue to shoot, or trained or hung out with them. You guys get the picture. But honestly, I felt like it was going pretty good. I was up in value, but the front line starts to buckle. Obviously, Gnoblars are only going to be holding for so long, and now the Iron Guts here are having to fight against Temple Guard Halberds and anti-large, so not going to be the prettiest engagement in the world, as we do pull back our Sky Striders and continue to cycle charge looking for engagements. And I was just kind of keeping them back the entire time, just waiting to see where the Claustodon Hunters would go. Both of us were kind of keeping things in reserve and just waiting to see what the other one would be doing, right? So Iron Guts trying to pull back. Cold on Spear Riders and Temple Guard going to be hustling, and it looks like Tic-Tac-Toe and the Claustodon Hunters going to be trying to get an engagement here, but they do end up jumping on the Powder Guts, which is going to suck pretty bad. So now we commit our anti-large. We do have the big beat sticks coming in. Hopefully they'll be able to drag down some of the boys. and the powder guts are going to be trying to escape. I don't want to stay here. There's too many halberds, too much work. And finally, the lead belchers do arrive, so they're going to be ripping some shots. Granted, they are somewhat obstructed. I had them shooting at the Colossadon Hunters. In retrospect, should have been going after Coldland Spear Riders or some of those other threats, but, you know, it is what it is. So on the far side, more Coldland Spear Riders trying to get around, and I'm trying to kind of block them up with my Noblars, and it looks like we do get a partial success in that regard. And look at this, man. Sky Strider's doing work. They're up to about 1,200 value, just absolutely pounding the Colossadon Hunters. Here we do see Tic-Tac-Toe, Mortal Kombat, battling some of the powder guts, but the Dino's push is pretty, you know, scary. I don't have a lot of good tools for dealing with the Temple Guard. I'm trying to think what the best tools probably would be. Probably is honestly just Lead Belchers. Yeah, Lead Belchers are one of the best options I think you would have, just like Ushabti Great Bows and Chosen of the Gods are pretty good against Dinos. I think for the same reason that can work. It's a little bit of a desperation here. I am up in value, but it certainly didn't feel that way as I was being pushed back. I do summon in a couple Saber Tusk packs to give a little bit of extra DPS against these units, and the Sky Striders are going to be slowly retreating backwards while the Temple Guard do keep pressing and advancing. Tic-Tac-Toe doing his work, but the poor Powder Guts here are going to be getting compromised by the Temple Guard and beaten down. Big Earthblood going down from the Dinos. Beautiful cast there. It's going to be hitting Tic-Tac-Toe. Also is going to be hitting the Temple Guard there. But we do break that position, and, you know, we're trying our best to get the objectives back. But that really is kind of the problem, right? The Dinos have a good stranglehold. They have really good capture weight. Skink Cohort Javelins are an amazing choice because they do have those Javelins against the big Ogres, which are big targets, and they themselves have 5 capture weight. So very, very cost effective. Ogre Bulls can clear them off pretty quickly, but it's not an easy fight. That is for sure. Big Power Fist coming down once again on the Temple Guard. Boom, and it does some okay damage, but is that going to break them? Probably not. Saber Tusks trying their thing, also getting Noblar Trappers to throw some of those Ninja Stars in there, and both sides are having some pretty big routes as I send my Noblars back in to try and shut down these Salamanders, to maybe start grinding with these Skink Cohorts. Guaranteed cohorts are quite a bit stronger. Oh my god. Did Tic-Tac-Toe just drop the Rock of Doom on those guys and just miss horribly? I think so. Looking at Tic-Tac-Toe so far, he's almost paid for himself. He's got about 500 value. That man does not cost much. And here we do get the big cavalry going in. And I think I was trying to shut down the Skink Oracle and get a little bit of an isolation. Maybe break the Temple Guard on the charge, but they were obviously much more resilient than I had expected. So the Sky Striders, who've already probably paid for themselves, are going to be pulling back at this point and rear charging into these other Temple Guard. Just trying to get through them, man. The Lizard leadership is no joke. And the infantry spam with them seems very, very strong here. Sora Spears, Temple Guard, pretty cool choices. But, you know, in retrospect, probably like a triple, you know, shooting opening could have been very, very good against that Temple Guard spam. Probably would have decimated it pretty badly. But you never know what to expect, man. You never know. You gotta play careful. Sky Striders up to 1,800 value, so I think they've more or less paid for themselves. They're kind of in the ballpark. And here we got more Lead Belchers coming out, so these Lead Belchers going to be setting up downriver and taking big shots at the Lizardmen healing. So we're trying to break that Skink Oracle, but there is going to be more Temple Guard and more Skinks coming from all directions. Ogre Bull, Iron Fists are on their way out, hoping they'll be able to kind of absorb some of the shooting with their shields and also, you know, potentially screen from my Lead Belchers back here. This is where Tic-Tac-Toe comes in, man. He is no joke. Anti-large salamander fire, Tic-Tac-Toe, swooping down from the sky. It's going to be going after the Lead Belchers, picks off a model instantly. Talk about cost effective. So now, guys, the Lizards have equalized the value, which is not good. Considering how many Earthbloods have been going down, I would say that's incredibly cost effective. And here we are going to be getting a Power Fist. There it goes. Boom, right into those Temple Guard. It's been one of the best options we've had. And look at this absolutely alpha Sky Strider, the last of his people. He's about to go extinct here as he's got about 45 HP, but he was fighting to the bitter end against those guys. Certainly very, very impressed. Powder Guts are back out, not in the healthiest of situations, and the poor Lead Belchers do get taken out by Tic-Tac-Toe and the Salamander Overwatch fire as we do pull more and more Saber Tusks out to just try and grind. A little bit desperate, really. Just trying my best to get these guys down, but really, really on the back foot here. So we do go for a little bit of a side play, and we do bring a unit of Lead Belchers and also some Ogre Bull Iron Fist. Now, this is a really big play that could get us back in the game here for sure. The trading is somewhat even, but we do use the Dismember on the Colossadon Hunters. I do have some Ogre Bulls nearby. These are going to be the Iron Fists. And if the Colossadon Hunters don't get the charge in them, the Iron Fist might actually be able to put some hurt on them. So here they come, the big charge. They got their guts out for the Maw, and they will start putting hopefully some good DPS into these guys. We'll have to see. Toad Rage is currently active, and the Lead Belchers are going to be trying to pull back. So that was the response. I did come in, and my Lead Belchers actually shot off the Spear units, but then he summoned in the Colossadon Hunters from his Vanguard over here and was able to kind of mitigate that little side push. So very, very well played there. Now we continue to scrap. We do see the Saber Tusks and Saber Tusks kind of chilling out, and Lizards still have a lot of spears and a lot of halberds here. And on the backside, we do see the old Saber Tusks kind of being ground down here. So honestly, running out of steam. This was kind of my whole gamble over here, was to kind of wrestle the side objective, but the fact that he had enough resources to summon the Colossadon Hunters, which was a very, very solid counter to my push here, was incredibly strong. But look how well the Ogre Bulls do. Even like basic Ogre units just hit like trucks. Like these Colossadon Hunters just really, really got hammered. And hopefully the Lead Belchers, for my sake, will be able to kind of pick some of them off. We got more reinforcements coming in, so the dreaded Iron Guts return. And they're sitting on only 400 value in their first life, which is pretty disappointing. But problematic, the Dinos do get the side point. We do see Feral Cold Ones kind of jumping over there, so they are able to get that. Tic-Tac-Toe kind of on death's bed. He gets a little bit beat up. He's up in the sky with about 500 HP, so if I do bring him down, there's maybe going to be an opportunity. And guys, the Ogres are resurgent on the middle objective. We got Ogre Bulls and Trappers. The capture weight does belong to us. Somehow Palpatine has returned. And we are on our way back into the game here as the middle objective is maybe going to swing our way. Ogre Bulls do get dragged down by these spears and the Colossodon Hunters, but now it's time for the Iron Guts to go in and fail once again, as I'm just perpetually disappointed by this unit, which is a shame. I feel like something's off with their attack. I don't know. It just feels like they don't. I know that was a problem when they first came out. They didn't like connect with things. It was like an actual bug, but we'll see. They do drag down some of the spears, and looks like the Colossodon Hunters do eat the charge, and yeah, Iron Guts doing some work, making me eat my words. Look at that. Middle objective is close to flipping for us. The Ogre Bulls, of course, do have a good capture weight. There's some Noblars nearby, but he summoned in the dreaded Skink Oracle. Oh, I thought that was a Carnosaur. I was like, oh my god, the Carnosaur's here too. The Skink Oracle is still a good fighter. You can see able to get a nice little tail whip animation there, looking pretty rad. Side objective, we tried to wrestle it, but the Feral Cold Ones dominated the Saber-Tusk packs. I didn't expect that, but the 90 armor really is the big difference maker. More big cav coming out, some Mournfang cav. These are going to be the Iron Fist variant, just to absorb all the shooting. I only had them in the Sky Strider, so I would have liked to have another like anti-large one, but in that situation I didn't have much of a choice. So the Iron Guts do move up, and they're going to be hustling to the side point here, so here they come. And will they get it before the spears make it? I do use a Dismember on these spears to slow their advance, which is a very good tactic if you guys are like aspiring Ogre players. Using Dismember, your army ability to kind of keep people from getting to points when you're trying to capture them with your fast units is very, very good. But we can't seem to get the middle objective. Far side is owned by the Ogre Kingdoms. We do get the Mournfang Cav coming over to kind of take them down. They also do get these guys, and more Ogres are on their way in. But now we get a legitimate Carnosaur coming out. I knew there was a Carnosaur in this game. I just couldn't remember when it happened. So this fight's very, very tough. The Ogre Cav actually fighting well, considering the circumstances, but we're totally triple capped. All 3 points belong to the Dinos. We're behind in value, so we're just pretty much at GG at this point. So very well played opponent. He played a great game. It was really funny because him and I were both like, we watched the stream where Flying Taco on King of the Hill won like 3 or 4 games with Ogres, and we both had the itch after that. We were both like, yeah, let's see if we can like channel him and play the Ogres and do well. But we both lost with the Ogre Kingdoms. I don't know if you guys saw the replay from last week, but yeah, Ogres are, I think, a decent faction. I don't think it's that they're bad. I think they just take practice. You need to know how all their units work. They have some pretty unique interactions with their, so many large units. So you really need to kind of be practiced with them to get it there. But I totally think you can do it. Like maybe more Lead Belchers probably would be good. GG, well played. Sky Striders did good. Shooting not bad. 1400, 900. I think more Lead Belchers and less. Just the Iron Guts are just so mediocre. Just cut them. You cut these guys. Go more Noblars. Get more shooting and a couple assets to protect against like diving, and I think you're okay. GG, well played. See you guys next time. Tic-Tac-Toe is a true menace. Look at him, man. Just 900 value, a record, to say the least. Take care.